can remember playing and fighting in the basement, and attacking you. I think what was referred to as a hissy fit. And
yes.
yeah, so I had a bit of a temper, and so exactly, a little bit. So I can remember wailing on you down in the basement, but I also remember a story of like doing something, and it was like, okay, sorry, my Ellery's just walking through on her tiptoes. Anyways, sorry.
Good.
And doing something and realizing instantly I was in trouble, and then trying to make you, like, basically trying to make you laugh so that I could distract you.
100%. Yes.
So you wouldn't go and tell on me. So
yeah.
And inevitably it worked. So it was a genius plan.
No, that's, I feel like that's a thread that binds. It's sort of like, we would fuck with each other, like, and boo, 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 boo. And then somebody would legit get hurt. Yeah. And we'd be like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as soon as you laughed, Derek was like, can't tell mom and dad. You laughed. Yeah. Can't tell mom and dad anymore.
You're fine. You're fine.
You're fine. For sure. Leah and I got to spend 1 year of high school together. Myself in grade 9 and Leah in her OAC year. And Leah, incidentally, was also the co-president of the school. So she was the head honcho. The head honcho of the school. And I was a little boy, and I mean a little boy because I was a year ahead. Puberty had not quite found me yet in grade 9. I can remember seeing her in the halls and getting the head nod and whatnot. I know her friends were more. I know her friends were more excited to see me and talk to me and whatnot than my sister. But I also got the feeling that it was rules had been outlined, and it was fine for me, right? Like, they knew who she was, and I was attached to her, maybe from a very long distance, but I was still attached. So it was never, she was definitely not mother hen, that's for sure. She didn't have wings over top of you and whatever, but it did feel like there was kind of an eye on me. And if it wasn't from Leah, it would have been from Doug, or like you said, Phrase, or somebody, right? If you went to a party, you weren't going to get yourself into too much trouble, and you definitely weren't going to get tuned up because you had 15 OAC boys there. Yeah, basically, yeah. And they were prepared to let you do whatever stupid shit you wanted, and to a point. So,
Dayna, what about you? Do you have any memories of, you're 8 years apart. So was she kind of like a second mom, or was she?
Yeah, so like in that first story, she very much was. Like, after school, whatever she said, I did. Like, if she wanted me to do her chores on the chore list, it was like, okay, like, I'm not gonna say no to this. But the other big memory that came to mind, and I don't even know when this happened, Leah, you might have been in university your first or second year, but you came down to Elmer, and I came and spent a weekend with you and your girlfriends up in university. Yeah, like, and I don't know why you wanted me to come spend a weekend with you, but like, I thought it was the coolest thing. I remember driving into London with you and sitting shotgun and like asking what bands you listened to, and then I was like, do you listen to Backstreet Boys? Like, I was trying to find like some common ground.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but the reason I remember it, and the reason that it'll always be burned in my mind, is that was the weekend I got my period for the first time ever. And
you got it with your sister and not your mom. Wow, that's a pretty big deal. Holy smoke.
And it was very normalized, very like,
you were in a house of bitches. Like, yeah, we're like, yeah, guess what? We bleed.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was it could have been traumatic, right? It could have been very embarrassing. It could have
Oh,
had all those
yeah.
elements, but it was very much like, okay, like this is how we deal with it. And now we're gonna go on and go for a walk and do things. Yeah. Yeah.
What about advice, you two? What pearls of wisdom has Leah given you at different points in your life?
Oh my.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was more, I mean, for as loud as I am, I would say that in most cases, I do like to just kind of people watch and kind of learn from examples and whatnot. So I kind of learned the do's and don'ts of high school, university, the party scene, all that sort of stuff from just kind of hearing stories, watching, watching Leah go to prom, have a house party, be at house parties. All, yeah. Basically, you're welcome for that. You referenced me playing sports. I basically ran interference so you could throw ragers at our house. So
That was an accident, Mom. Mom, if
Yeah,
you're
it was an
listening to
accident.
this, it was an accident.
After she was back in Canada and with Tim, they lived, I mean, they were maybe 3 kilometers from my university house.
Oh, wow.
Was their first home.
Yeah. Our first house we rented. That's right. Yeah.
So, I mean, I would go there throughout university periodically and just to kind of get away from the grind. But there was no like, this is how you do coke or anything like that sort of moment. Mom, I've never done coke if you're listening.
I feel like you and I, like our adult relationship together changed materially when we both, so 2 times, I would say. I think it pivoted when I became a parent, and I think it deepened when you became a parent.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
When Simon was born, and you and Julie sort of became auntie and uncles, like,
Yep.
It was just so evident to me from the moment that Simon was born, what an amazing father, what an amazing parent you were going to be. What about you, Dayna?
I think a lot of, like I said, like so much, because there's a lot of memories from not high school days, but like college days of like sitting in your front room and after the kids go to bed, like having a drink and talking about school or bad managers or masters, thesis advisors, and skills and how to kind of pivot them on a resume, and overall rules like don't put it in writing unless like you're willing to own up to it someday. Like like it was I feel like we've had a lot of those talks. A lot of them are probably like Christmas Eve and then Christmas night. Like those 2 nights are pretty big, like stay up until stupid clock and change all the clock time so the kids sleep in, hopefully. Having rum and eggnogs or red wine. Yeah, I feel like, and I think that started when you did have kids, because it was your lifestyle changed, right? Like you and Tim were very social butterflies. Like you had different friend things every weekend, and then when you had the baby, it was a great excuse to like come home for the reading week and spend a few days with you and Simon, and like loved babysitting them. So yeah.
Nice. And what about now? She's your big sister. Do you still think of her as your big sister, or do you think of her more of as a friend?
I always go first. You go first, Dayna.
Yeah, I was gonna say both. Like I'm definitely dealing with some work stress. Like I'm on leave from work right now, and Leah has been my like daily contact of like, this is how I'm feeling, this is why, like this is what my doctor's saying, this is what my therapist is saying. So like what's your experience? What do you think? Like what have you heard? And we're the same blood, so yeah, we can react differently, but I feel like our central energy is same, coming from the same sources. So like let's use each other. And so she's and that's from a very recent experience and very.
As families, we're together quite often. Like our significant others are kind of taken in. Our kids are kind of, it takes a village sort of idea. I think now she's kind of fulfilled all her duties, and now it's just kind of, we're friends, we're family, to your point, Dayna, we're blood. Kind of do anything for any one of us, but you get stripped away of those kind of, you're the oldest, you're the middle, you're the youngest, and this is what's supposed to happen because you're this. I think now it's just kind of, we're all in this together sort of thing. And exactly. And we're all at different stages of our life. We've all gone through different things. So, this is what worked for me. This is what didn't work for me, that sort of stuff. So, I would say, 50-50. Always gonna be the big sister, but it's more of somebody that you can count on and talk to.